Hey there, fellow green thumbs! Welcome back to Soil Sage Chronicles. I know what you're thinking. Grow melons without soil? Trust me, I had the same skeptical look on my face when I first heard about this revolutionary growing method. But after 3 seasons of jaw-dropping results that had my neighbors peeking over the fence in amazement, I'm here to share this game-changing technique that will transform how you think about growing these sweet, juicy treasures. Whether you're dealing with clay-heavy ground that drains like a bathtub, renting a place with zero garden space, or simply want to try something that'll make your gardening friends do a double-take, this soilless melon-growing method is about to become your new obsession. And the best part? It's so simple that even if you've never grown anything beyond a houseplant, you'll be harvesting restaurant-quality melons by summer's end. Let's start with the elephant in the room. Why would we want to ditch soil in the first place? After years of battling soil-borne diseases, inconsistent drainage, and that annual guessing game of soil amendments, I discovered that hydroponic melon growing isn't just possible, it's actually superior in many ways. Melons grown hydroponically develop faster, produce more fruit per plant, and here's the kicker: they're often sweeter than their soil-grown cousins. This happens because you have complete control over the nutrient delivery system. No more wondering if your melons are getting enough potassium for that perfect sweetness, or if soil compaction is stunting their root development. In hydroponics, roots get exactly what they need when they need it delivered in the most bioavailable form possible. The science behind this is fascinating. When melon roots aren't spending energy pushing through compacted soil or competing with weeds for nutrients, they channel all that energy into fruit production. I've seen cantaloupe plants in my hydroponic setup produce 40% more fruit than identical varieties grown in even the best garden soil. Here's where things get exciting, and I promise it's not as complicated as those intimidating hydroponic store setups might suggest. The deep water culture, or DWC system, is your golden ticket to melon success, and you can build one for about the cost of a fancy dinner. Start with a 5-gallon food-grade bucket. Dark colors work best because they prevent algae growth. You'll need a net pot, about 3 inches in diameter, some expanded clay pebbles or rock wool for support, and an air pump with tubing and an air stone. The air pump is crucial because melon roots are oxygen lovers, and without proper aeration, you'll end up with sad, rotting roots instead of vigorous plants. Cut a hole in the bucket lid that fits your net pot snugly. The bottom of your net pot should sit about an inch above the water line when the bucket is full. This gap allows roots to grow down into the nutrient solution while the upper portion stays dry, preventing stem rot, a common mistake that kills many hydroponic beginners' dreams. Fill your net pot with expanded clay pebbles, leaving space for your melon seedling. These pebbles provide support and excellent drainage while allowing roots to grow through freely. Some growers swear by rock wool, but I've found clay pebbles more forgiving for beginners, and they're reusable season after season. This is where the magic happens, and honestly, where most people either strike gold or give up entirely. But stick with me, because once you understand this, you'll wonder why anyone struggles with soil nutrition ever again. Melons are heavy feeders with specific needs that change as they grow. During the vegetative stage, they crave nitrogen for leaf development, but too much nitrogen during flowering will give you gorgeous plants with zero fruit. Trust me on this one. I learned this lesson the hard way during my first hydroponic season when my cantaloupe plants looked like they belonged in a jungle but produced exactly 3 small melons. Use a complete hydroponic nutrient solution with an NPK ratio around 10:5:14 during the vegetative stage. Once flowering begins, switch to a bloom formula with reduced nitrogen and increased phosphorus and potassium. The ideal EC, or electrical conductivity, for melons ranges from 1.8 to 2.5, with pH maintained between 5.5 and 6.5. Check your pH every few days using a digital meter. Those color change strips are just too unreliable for serious growing. pH fluctuations will lock out nutrients even if they're present in the solution, leading to deficiency symptoms that'll have you scratching your head. I keep pH adjustment solutions on hand and make small corrections as needed. So, you want to make sure you change your nutrient solution completely every 2 weeks during active growth. This simple step helps prevent salt buildup and, keeps fresh nutrients available for your plants. Oh, and between those changes, just top off with pH-adjusted water as your plants use up the solution. Not all melon varieties are created equal when it comes to soilless growing. After testing, honestly, dozens of varieties over the years, I've been able to identify the true champions that'll really give you the best chance of success in your hydroponic setup. Cantaloupe varieties like Minnesota Midget and Sugar Cube are absolute stars in hydroponic systems. They're compact, early maturing, and, I have to say, they produce intensely sweet fruit that'll make you question why grocery store melons even exist. Honey Rock is another winner that adapts beautifully to hydroponic culture and produces those classic netted cantaloupes that look like they came straight from a farmer's market. For watermelons, stick with smaller varieties unless you're planning to support massive vines. Sugar Baby and Crimson Sweet work wonderfully, producing full-sized melons on manageable plants. If you want something really special, try Golden Midget. It's a yellow-fleshed watermelon that ripens to absolute perfection in hydroponic systems. Honeydew varieties like Early Dew and Passport also thrive hydroponically, though they typically need a slightly longer growing season. The payoff is worth it. Hydroponic honeydews develop an incredible sweetness that's hard to achieve in soil. Here's where soilless growing really shines. You have complete control over plant training and support. Melons are naturally vining plants, but in a hydroponic setup, you can train them vertically to maximize space and actually increase production. Install a sturdy trellis system above your growing area. I use T-posts with horizontal wires spaced 12 inches apart, creating a climbing framework that supports the vines as they grow. This vertical training exposes more leaves to light, improving photosynthesis and fruit development. As your melon vines grow, gently weave them through the trellis wires and secure with soft plant ties. Don't force them. Melons will naturally want to climb once they get started. Prune the growing tips once vines reach the top of your trellis to encourage lateral branching and more flowering sites. For fruit support, create slings from old t-shirts or purchase mesh fruit supporters. As melons develop and gain weight, these slings prevent the fruit from breaking away from the vine prematurely. I've learned that properly supported melons also develop better shape and more even ripening. Even with a perfect setup and nutrition, challenges can still arise. The most common issue I see in my community is powdery mildew, which really thrives in the humid conditions that melons love. To help prevent this, increase air circulation around your plants with fans, and make sure to maintain proper spacing to avoid overcrowding. Root rot is another concern in hydroponic systems, usually caused by insufficient oxygenation or temperature problems. Your nutrient solution should stay between 65 and 72 degrees Fahrenheit for optimal root health. If you notice brown, mushy roots, increase aeration right away and consider adding beneficial bacteria to your nutrient solution. Blossom end rot, which shows up as dark, sunken spots on developing fruit, usually means there's a calcium deficiency or inconsistent watering, though in hydroponics it's more likely a pH issue that's preventing calcium uptake. So check and adjust your pH and make sure your nutrient solution contains enough calcium. The moment you've been waiting for, harvest time. Hydroponic melons often ripen faster than soil-grown ones, so you'll want to stay vigilant during those final weeks. Cantaloupes are ready when the stem separates easily from the fruit with gentle pressure, and the blossom end gives just a bit when pressed. The netting should be well developed and the background color should shift from green to tan or yellow. So, watermelons are, trickier to judge. You'll want to look for the ground spot where the melon sits to turn from white to a creamy yellow. And hey, listen for a deep hollow sound when you tap it. Oh, and the curly tendril nearest to the fruit stem, that'll brown and dry up when the melon is ripe. The flavor difference in hydroponic melons is remarkable. Because you control every aspect of their nutrition, these melons develop complex, intense flavors that often surpass anything you'll find commercially. I've had visitors taste my hydroponic cantaloupes and honestly refuse to believe they weren't some exotic heirloom variety. Growing melons without soil isn't just a novelty, it's a practical, rewarding method that produces superior fruit while solving common gardening challenges. Whether you're dealing with poor soil, limited space, or simply want more control over your growing environment, this hydroponic approach will, really revolutionize your melon game. Start small with a single bucket system. Master the basics, then expand as your confidence grows. The initial setup cost pays for itself with just one successful harvest, and the knowledge you gain will absolutely transform your entire approach to gardening. Remember, every expert was once a beginner who decided to try something new. Your perfect, juicy, incredibly sweet hydroponic melons are waiting for you to take that first step. If this article opened your eyes to new possibilities in your gardening journey, make sure to subscribe to Soil Sage Chronicles for more revolutionary growing techniques that'll have your neighbors wondering what your secret is. Hit that share button and spread the soilless growing love together. We're creating a community of gardeners who aren't limited by conventional thinking. What melon variety are you excited to try first? Drop a comment and let's start planning your hydroponic success story.